Yes, good evening to you. The voice you are hearing now is that of Eden Davis, who's the principal actor in this debacle, which has now come to the surface like so many wrongful historic allegations, or like the stiffened form of a Belgian au pair presumed missing, glimpsed through a crisp estuary fog at low morning tide, on the otherwise radiant spring morning of my public image. And I'd like to thank one Marcus Fowden, the filmmaker and archivist who directed this project. Like the solitary dog walker of the piece, he has been responsible for alerting us to its mortified remain. The aspergic zeal and dedication Marcus showed until his, by popular consent, timely passing up in that airing cupboard, trawling through the video archives, was quite remarkable, and I'd like to thank the Department of Work and Pensions for funding those efforts, the fruits of which he sadly cannot be here with us to see. And thank you to the Marcus Fowden Foundation for rationalising and lending some sort of order to those chaotic efforts following his death, and particularly to the poor intern who was charged with the unenviable task of removing the lipstick smears from every individual frame of film with my face on it. Many thanks also to Ken Loach, who offered pro bono to complete the film in Mr. Fowden's absence. Interesting fact, this sequence is the only one in the film to show Aberystwyth itself. A shot of the Cambrian coast, which was obtained from the top of a relatively tall ladder. The rest were shot on sound stages, and once on location in Genoa. This rather dramatic establishing shot was filmed with my toys, and I really can't praise the set designer, whose name I don't recall. Shall we call him Ernst Vogel? For the startling accuracy with which he put this backdrop together. One has the feeling of really being inside a clumsily assembled, funding-deprived regional Welsh civic museum. It's almost too real, in fact, as critics have been quick to point out. Well, fuck 'em. I mean, you give and you give so fucking much. Another, perhaps too authentic-looking Welsh woman there, expertly played by Jane Horrocks. Hyper-realistic, I think. An absolutely astonishing shot, I think, this one. You know, this was all done in one take. And how he achieved this effect is, of course, that what you're seeing now is actually being played in reverse, and twice as fast. And of course, as we were filming it, I had to learn my lines all backwards and move twice as slowly. And that the finished product is such consummate wank is really one of the mysteries of the filmmaking process. I can't quite remember the name of the actress to the right of the shot there. Some Norwegian bint we got off Gumtree, who I think we swapped for a job lot of slightly scratched PlayStation 1 games, and a dance mat, and a set of occasionally accurate bathroom scales. Sorely missed. The scales, of course. The decision to extend this scene in the museum to, I think, his eventual run time of 23 minutes. I remember owing a lot to Marcus's becoming mired in a lot of later Bergman, which at the time I disapproved of course, because I was going through a real The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride phase. But I think I was wrong, and it really seems to have paid off in this instance. You know, this really is a tremendously powerful scene. What a masterstroke, or something along those lines. Now the delivery is all wrong in this bit. I was suffering from bad head lice at the time, so please try and skirt over this. Radio Ceredigion, which of course had become London Weekend Television at that point, so we actually had to source the sign used in that scene there from an antique dealer in Reykjavik, where there is quite a strong market for ephemera related to regional Welsh radio stations, on account of the blossoming subculture of Waliophiles out in Iceland, and vice versa, I expect. Probably. That sign there said fully air-conditioned, but in fact the place was full of very small particles of hydrogen and other elements, which I presume not to be their intention. I've stopped doing the actor voice now. You see, when I do, when I take on a character part, I try and make it as inconsistent as possible, for I believe it gives them a tremendously human quality. I actually based my accent in this short film on that of Jane What's-Her-Face out of Frasier, playing that wonderfully vivacious Bangladeshi woman. The rest of this sequence was filmed in what might look to you to be a seaside arcade. It's actually the reading room of Wales's leading university, the University of Rhyl, which is where the Welsh First Minister got his bachelor's in general studies. And this is the machine that the Welsh use to predict the coming of the seasons, when they can scrape together enough 20-pence pieces. And it meant a tremendous amount to me that I was able to film my first short in the land of my fathers, and I believe they enjoyed it too. But it's not all about my gay dads, this commentary. I mean, look at this astonishing camera work here. And it would appear to the uninitiated that this again was filmed in one seamless, continuous take. But of course I used to be tremendously skilled, tremendously skilled at holding a fixed pose for a number of weeks during the filming, during which I would subsist by taking my panda pops and wagon wheels intravenously. I stood up, standing up in the same place, like a big statue. I've been asked in an interview more recently, with the emphasis that is contained in this film on the local character of Aberystwyth and the area, did we receive much in the way of support or funding from the Ceredigion Board of Trade? And the answer is yes. They allowed us to stand on the Board of Trade at least once a fortnight, and the mayor of Machynlleth would come out in her regalia and would sing Motorcycle Emptiness at us for encouragement, while 4 Welsh rugby wicket keepers lifted us up and down until we were sick. A needlessly dispiriting exercise, I'm sure you can imagine, which set back the production 3 or 4 years, I think it was, in the end. And it was only by military intervention that the practice was really stopped. But I mean, from a legislative point of view, I think that the Welsh nation is one a lot more progressive than our own. I think that the least that you can say for them is that the Welsh Assembly is organised with a far greater measure of separability between church and state. And it was while we were in Wales during the course of filming this short that we ourselves tried to encourage the full separability of toilet and bathtub, but of course the idea didn't really catch on. I think and pobl Cymraeg tend to be terribly confused by enamel. Now, this exterior shot here is meant to resemble Aberystwyth in some way, and the trouble with these external shots was the number of extras and bit part actors we had to employ to make it look both authentic and spontaneous. Now, I think this is owing, of course, to the amazing ethnic diversity of the real-life Aberystwyth, where the Congolese majority entirely dwarfs the white Welsh population, who are incidentally entirely dwarves. Which is tremendous news for the regional economy, of course. I mean, it's responsible for Cardiganshire being the economic powerhouse that it is. But we found it didn't really sit well with the rather conservative English test audiences, who became very confused and started talking about Brussels and ethnic quotas, and then fucked and ate their notepads. And I think during the course of the original filming there was some attempt to be amusing at this point, but no, you see, it goes entirely undetected, and I think it's something to do with the panning on this this particular bit. What a sensationally attractive young man! It's amazing I haven't been lonelier. This is sensational female actress there. Don't quite remember her name. Marcus, what was the... he's meant to be dead. Well, I don't think I can bear to look at my 14-year-old self for much longer than this. I hope that this has been informative and instructive, and that, who knows? So, all there is remaining is to say Gute Nacht, Bonne Nuit, and I hope that you enjoyed watching this film as much as I did watching my self-esteem flake away.